Hello, Titans! Miss Talbert here, and I am so excited to be reading one of my favorite books to you in honor of Vocabulary Day, a day that is all about amazing words. My goodness, there are so many cool, unique, fun, and amazing words in the English language. There are so many extraordinary words. And so today I'm going to be reading a book by Miss Stacey Abrams. Now, Miss Abrams served on the House of Representatives in Georgia. She was also the minority leader, and she was the Democratic nominee for governor in 2018. She went on to write amazing children's books because she loves words just like you and I do. So this is a book by Miss Stacey Abrams, who lives here in Georgia, just like us, and it's all about extraordinary words. This book is illustrated by Kit Thomas. So let's learn some extraordinary words together. Stacey loved words. She loved to read and write and say them. She adored fun words, long words, unusual words, words with wonderful histories, and weird combinations. Whenever Stacey learned a new word, it was like making a new friend. First, she would find the dictionary. Then she would look up where the word had come from and learn its secrets. Did any of its letters hide and stay quiet? Like the P in ptarmigan, a bird that lives in cold northern regions? Or were they strong like the I in bright? Next, she wrote the word in her special notebook of extraordinary words. She practiced how to arrange the letters just right, how to sound them out. That's because she loves spelling interesting words most of all. With her favorite words, she would try to remember their quirks. What made them special? When she saw a super long word like onomatopoeia, a funny word to describe the sounds of other words, she had to jump and sway. Words like duckling made her grin. Persnickety tickled her tongue. Ooh, I like those words. Fun fact, onomatopoeia is one of Miss Talbert's favorite words. It's so fun to say. And onomatopoeias are so cool. They're words that make the sounds like crash, boom, bang. Love it. Sometimes Stacey thought that words understood her better than people did. When she sat by herself during recess, they never teased her about being quiet or about being clumsy when she fell or awkward when the joke in her head came out wrong. When she read books under the covers, words never told her to go to sleep. Words understood why she was grumpy or anxious. In fact, words helped her explain what she was feeling, if only to herself. One day, Stacey's teacher, Miss Blakesley, asked her to wait after class. She squirmed in her seat because she was afraid, petrified, which is another way to say really afraid. Usually the teacher only kept a student after class because of a blunder. That means mistake. Miss Blakesley called Stacey to her desk and she returned her spelling test. A big red 100 sat at the top of the page. The teacher asked her, "Do you know what a spelling bee is?" A really smart insect? Stacey joked. The teacher smiled. A spelling bee is a contest where students compete to spell as many words correctly as they can. I would like for you to participate. Stacey couldn't believe it. Who else will be there? I am nominating you and Jake. The spelling bee is next week. Stacey's excitement suddenly evaporated. That means disappeared. Jake was not her friend. He was a bully who knew words too. Just yesterday, he had used a complicated word that made Suki cry. Last week, she heard him say something cruel to Zaviko about his accent. Stacey thought it was stupendous that Zaviko knew words in 2 different languages. Stacey knew as many words as Jake did. She wanted to say something when he said mean things to her friends, but she was intimidated, which is scared, because sometimes he said hurtful things to her too. She wished she had used her clever words to help Zuki or Zviko or by herself speaking up. Perhaps at this spelling bee she would be braver. At the spelling bee, she would not be silent. All week long, Stacy studied her spelling words from school and the ones she kept in her notebook. Still, the spelling bee felt as far away as the longest word she had ever seen. Whew, sesquipedalian, a fancy way to describe words with lots of syllables. Miss Talbert might not have pronounced that correctly. The days of the week were monotonous, torturous, and sluggish. Every hour felt longer and longer. Stacy wished for the week to whisk its days away. That means she wanted the week to go by faster. Finally, the morning of the spelling bee arrived. Stacy walked into the county library with her mother, holding her hand tight. Mama gave her a big hug and whispered in her ear, "Just do your best. Your dad and I are very proud of you." Stacy followed her teacher to the room where the other students waited until it was time to go. Then they went onto a stage. The announcer explained the rules. Kids stepped up to the microphone one by one to get their word. If they spelled it right, the announcer told them so. But if they made a mistake, a bell would ring and the student would have to leave the stage. No do-overs. Stacy's turn finally came. Her stomach ached with nervous energy, but she was ready. Say the word dither. Sound it out. Dither. Spell it. D-I-T-H-E-R. That is correct. The announcer called on the next student and the next. Promptly, enormous, shudder, transportation, craggy, reception, village. Finally, only 3 contestants remained, Stacy and Jake and a girl from another school. The girl went up to spell her word. Ding! She had spelled chocolate without the second O. We are down to our final 2 contestants, the announcer told the audience. Jake took a long time to spell the word accept. Stacy got squeezed, but she remembered the lost letters she adored, like Q and Z. Then Jake tackled clamoring. Stacy conquered disengage. Then Jake defeated geometry. Stacy returned to the podium, ready to do battle with her next word. She repeated it. She pronounced it. She spelled it. Instantaneous. Instantaneous. As she waited for the announcer, the bell dinged. Ding. I'm sorry. That is incorrect. The proper spelling is... Stacy couldn't even hear the rest of what he said. Tears filled her eyes, but she stayed on stage like a good sport as Jake got his trophy and received her second place ribbon. Everyone congratulated Jake, and so did she. Good job. Jake laughed and rolled his eyes. At least I know the difference between I and E. Stacy felt embarrassed, but she refused to let Jake make her cry. Well, I misspelled my word, but I do know how to be courteous. You should try it. She turned away and went to find her mom. If today were like one of the stories Stacy loved most, she would have won, and Jake would have learned that words were a gift that shouldn't be used to hurt people. But things didn't always happen that way in real life. Sometimes change was harder, and it didn't happen right away. Stacy felt a hand brush at her cheek. It opened her first and smoothed out the ribbon. Mama, she put a butterscotch candy on top of Stacy's favorite kind. Are you okay? I lost. But you came so far, nearly to the very end. But not far enough. I got the letter wrong, and I didn't win. I failed. You only fail if you stop, her mother reminded her. I know there's a word for that, and you know it too. Stacy thought about one of her favorite words, perseverance. Perseverance. That was one of our valor characteristics too, perseverance. Exactly. So let's go home and learn more words. There's always next year. Stacy imagined all the words she had yet to meet, new words and new ways to speak up and help others, and she'd find them all. No, Mama, there's always tomorrow. And you can see Stacy winning her trophy, going on to graduate, and then working in the government for our state of Georgia. And that is the end of Stacy's Extraordinary Words. I hope you guys enjoyed this book as much as I did. It's filled with so many amazing and extraordinary words. I hope you learned some new words in this book too. And I challenge you as we finish up the rest of Read Across America Week to learn some new words.